Hi, welcome to iMentor workshop. This is the inaugural version of the individualized cybersecurity research mentoring workshop, co-located virtually with CCS 2020. On behalf of my co-organizers, Ibiza Bertino, we want to say welcome. This is the orientation session before the workshop begins. And I would just want to quickly go over some of our thinking behind the workshop and then how the workshop is going to be structured. And why celebrate inclusive excellence in cybersecurity? Well, from my side, I think everyone is talented and has a unique perspective to cybersecurity research and can contribute at a different capacity. And so we need everyone. And in the meantime, there's some strong bias. People think that, to work in cybersecurity, you have to be a hacker, and you have to wear black hoodies. There's this, we do want to create a very accepting environment, welcoming everyone. And I myself, I certainly benefit a lot from having a lot of the mentors. And so I want to pass this on to other young people who are interested in this field. And this is a fascinating field. Everyone is welcomed. And for a long time, I felt like Mulan in this Disney remake of a live action movie. And you don't have to be. This is not this is not Asian China military. It does not accept women feeling like a minority, regardless of your gender, race, sexual orientation, cultural background. That doesn't help. It doesn't help you for your creativity, your interest. And so we want to change that. We want to make you feel happy when attending big conferences. This year, of course, is going to be very special. It's all virtual. And CCS, of course, is a huge conference, thousands of people. It's the biggest conference, research conference in cybersecurity. And for those kind of big conferences, if you don't know anyone, this is first time you attend, and you may feel isolated and a little bit of intimidating, or a lot of intimidation. And this is probably the unspoken truth of cybersecurity conference. You went there, especially big ones, and you see those people who look so professional, and you're like, oh, I don't know everything, I don't know anyone, and this is so intimidating. And there might be bad cycles. And I'm not saying that this is always the case, but then for minorities, again, sometimes you may not know anyone and you say, oh, they already find each other, they have friends. And the truth is that they may probably just talk to their lab mate or their advisor. But then you feel like you don't fit in. And then that may not by itself be bad, but then next time you're like, oh, I don't want to go to big conferences, and then you miss important networking opportunities, learning opportunities, and that's the most devastating part, in which we hopefully want to help with. By showing you that we are behind you, we want you to stay strong, and we understand your frustration and your struggles, and it's very common. It just transcends gender, race, and a lot of different things, and it's just a human thing. And so don't feel bad. And then there's also actual mechanism for you to feel good and to have friends. And then there's technical strategies and tactics for you to stay strong. And so we want to split that knowledge with you. And this is our selection committee. And most of them have read your statement. We're extremely moved by how strong you are, how passionate you are about cybersecurity research. Stay that way. And ultimate goal, of course, is just be yourself and then be a great cybersecurity researcher at the same time. And being yourself, I think, is more difficult than be a great researcher. you have to truly embrace yourself, and that takes time. And once you are able to do that, you will have your own great research style to contribute to the field in a very unique way. And so that takes time, and we are here to help. And then we believe it's just critical to the success of the cybersecurity profession, and everyone needs to contribute from their own perspective, and be feeling comfortable while working in this field. And so we want you to have some friends and have mentors and have some peers. And so you go to some conference, you know, hey, I actually know someone, so I don't feel, you know, intimidated or, you know, isolated, and look awkward. It's perfectly fine to look awkward. And by the way, and we're in the tech field. There's a lot of awkward people, but we want you to actually enjoy the conference going experience a little bit more, and so that we provide a non-judgmental environment, and then you can discuss with people and don't feel bad about asking questions, and then take advantage of the opportunities. And next time you're like, oh, I want to go to conferences, you know, I want to find time to connect with my peers, with others in this field, and then see what the cutting edge research is. And so that's the attitude, and it takes a long time to be like that. And for minority, I can tell you, it's gonna be hard. It's you know, you will have to. Sometimes, statistically speaking, it takes a little bit more effort. And the program you can find on our website. And Zoom is the same link for multiple days. Or we also, if we make changes, we'll announce. Slack is open all the time, even though Zoom is off. For today's program, starting from 11 Eastern time, we're gonna live stream on YouTube. So we're very excited. I'm extremely excited about this program, this workshop. And in case of Zoom failure, watch us on Twitter for backup Zoom information. Hopefully, you know, fingers crossed. We have an exciting program. Bhavani will give an opening remark, a short keynote right after the PC's comments. Professor Rahim Beye from Georgia Tech. He's a professor in the School of EC and also a vice president. He will share his perspective growing up and working in academia. Christina is a senior director of Oracle Labs, so we also have collaborations. And she will tell from her perspective as a Latina working in the technology field. And we're just extremely excited to have them opening up to talk about to share their personal stories in this field from, you know, underrepresented perspective. And we also have a very exciting panel for you with 5 great panelists from, you know, different stage of their career, graduate students, industry researcher, professors, you know, junior professor, more established, the senior professor. We have Bhavani there as well. They will talk about the tips for graduate school, and then, you know, how to be successful in the long run. And so really look forward to that. We also have a freestyle discussion after 4 p.m. And this will be like, you know, based on my experience, people get, you know, we do want people to ask questions and chat, and then this is just very informal, and it's optional if you're tired, and it's optional. So there's more time for us to connect, and of course there's this virtual format presents a lot of challenges, and you know, we'll just learn to cope, and hopefully you are doing fine with the COVID, and then be safe and stay healthy. CCS starts tomorrow. And we want you to enjoy it, somewhat enjoy it, you know, because there's a lot of new elements here. And so, but CCS has this virtual platform. You should be able to attend. For our workshop, just connect directly through Zoom. CCS has a different virtual chair platform. Look at the website. And I want you to listen to CCS talks and chat with your mentors. And because we do want you to, we do want to focus on the technical excellence. While you listen to talks and chat with the discussion, think of some questions, okay? Think of not just the passively accept what they say, but also think things like, oh, is this question useful in practice, or this is a very theoretical exercise, mental exercise, which is completely fine too. How well do the authors address the technical challenges, or is this a relatively straightforward solution? And how well do they validate their claims? Do they overclaim, underclaim? So there's don't think that, oh, CCS paper must be 100% perfect. Nothing, this is a fast growing field. Everything is, you can think of this as in transit, and nothing is 100% perfect, but then it's best effort. So you think about can authors improve their writing? How do I learn from this published paper? And how do they explain these complex concepts? Maybe I should learn it next time. I should do something similar. And what are the limitations, and how severe are the limitations? And so those are the questions I want you to get used to thinking. Also, ask questions during CCS, and this year, because of virtual format, it's a lot easier. You don't have to, grab the microphone, wait in lines, and then you can just send in chat. You can also raise a hand and I think turn on your microphone. I'm not sure how they allow this, but definitely send in chat, right? And you can just say, hey, great, I love the work. And in cybersecurity, don't feel like, oh, if you show some emotion, if you show that you actually like something, you will give the impression that you're weak. No, is it just that you're a human, okay? And there are two levels of question, I would say, clarifications and things like, oh, are you gonna open source your code? And so to get used to ask questions. You can start with easy ones, but also ask deeper questions, or at least think of possible deeper open-ended questions. Like, if I want to extend your work to a different domain, what do you think would be the challenge? As you're the expert, right? So in what scenario this solution may not perform as well as you claim to be, and you want to ask questions in a very respectful way, but then you also want to gain information. You want to show people that you understand what they said, and also there are knowledges that they probably should cover. Have you thought of this potential deployment challenge? And so I do encourage you to follow along, not just passively accept. And of course, it will take time. As a junior grad student, you may immediately think, oh, this is already perfect, there's nothing that I want to ask. It takes time. Tomorrow I will talk about imposter syndrome, research diversity, research style diversity, and then the importance of knowing your strengths. So very excited to share my knowledge. And if you look at our program, we have this daily scrum. It's just a very informal chat. And so we can I'm thinking maybe we could go through the CCS program of that day, because daily scrum is always before the CCS starts. And we can decide, what are the sessions you may want to attend. You can chat with your mentors on November 11th. If your mentor is not available, then stay with the main group. On the last day, we want each one of you have a quick summary, 1 to 2 minutes quick summary, a Zoom session. And so you can just share your experience, what talks you've been to, the biggest thing that you like from the biggest lessons, and so anything you like to talk about. And and we are here to help, and I think we have, and this is Bart Miller, my collaborator at Wisconsin, said it right on. We're here to listen and help, and just to make you feel less helpless, and then hopefully feel more confident through this career. You know, you are in grad school, you want to do cybersecurity at least for the bulk of your career, and this is a long career, and we are in the same profession, so let's help each other. And we also have other committee members who share their wisdom and encouragement. To read about it on Twitter, and I saw a consistent theme about persistency, being persistent, and don't feel defeated if you get paper rejection and obstacles, and then learn to enjoy and find friends to connect, to find other people, seniors, mentors to connect. And I do like the suggestion of talking to people about your research, and learn to explain your work in plain English, and that is always a problem for a lot of very good students. And so I find this. I recently learned from Nathan, our committee member, this valley of despair. And turned out to be a psychological phenomenon, and unveiled in the late 1990s, and it's part of, it's called cognitive bias, and turns out that when and you may heard things like the more you learn, the less you know, and turns out to have scientific evidence, and it just you know, how brain works, and so you know, and towards the end, so at some stage of your career, maybe it could be project, it could be PhD, could be whatever, and then you know, you may actually feel less confident than the beginning of your career, and it's just normal. It's normal, and eventually you get better. And I do want to say that this will happen again and again when you try to reach new career heights, when you challenge yourself, you know, when you change a new research topic, you know, start to learn AI for security, and so this will happen again and again, and just to get used to it. But do stay, don't quit, don't quit. Things will get better. And so that's all I want to say, and I want to end now so that we can have you know, some questions, then we can discuss. But enjoy the conference, enjoy the workshop and the conference, and we'll keep chatting throughout the rest of the week. All right, that's it for me. Thank you.